Welcome into Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, the only podcast in the Marshland Media Podcast Empire conglomeration detailing episode by episode, match by match, and sweaty time by sweaty time, the exploits and shenanigans getting down in the temple of Lucha Underground. I am one of your co-hosts. My name is Sean. How you doing? James, you are saluting me. Also, I am with James.
Yeah, I thought you were going to throw over to me, throw with that throat goat, baby.
Oh, but I feel like I don't think I ever actually, and this is on me now, I never throw it to you. I'm always just kind of like stop talking and then I wait for you to start talking.
Yeah, we don't have a setup where it's, you say an intro and then you say, my name's Sean, I'm James, and this is Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. You start with the Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, so then you should be throwing to me.
Okay, and you will cut all this together seamlessly. I'm just going to take it real quick from this throw to. Ready? I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Sean. With me is, who the fuck are you?
Hey guys, it's James. That's who the F.I. is.
I think I waited just enough time to swear. I'm still too soon?
We're a minute-ish in. If you actually want me to cut it how you asked and requested of me, then we're, I guess, 15 seconds in.
James, I'm gonna need you to leave all of that in then.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna need you to leave all that in.
I was planning on it.
Oh, wonderful. I'm gonna leave all of that inside of the cage.
Whoa.
Hey, we watched episode 14 of season 2, Cage in a Cage. Wild episode. Real wrestling episode. Yeah.
We see a cage in his cage or a cage in a cage, but do you want to see a mage in a rage?
Well, now, of course I do. But how? Yep.
You straighten out Vivi's shoes from Final Fantasy IX.
You think that would make Vivi very angry?
Yeah, because then it's just flopping around everywhere when it's curled up at the tips. Also, that might change how it shifts in his shoes while he's trotting around with insert man's name who was the main character that I can't remember.
In 9?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not Cloud, it's not Squall, it's not Sora.
Squad? You think it's Squad?
It's some pirate name, so it's probably, I don't know, Yahoy.
Claw.
Oh.
Now, do you think Vivi actually spends time on their shoes? Like, I feel like you don't buy those shoes pre-curled. You buy them floppy, and then, like, you curl them yourself.
Or if we're going by witch logic from Wizard of Oz, the more times you get smushed, they curl up a little bit. So he's been getting punched in the face, maybe by some pirates, and they curl a little. But then when you get pushed down all the way, kind of, not full, not like 3 times full Dominator, that kind of crushing.
Which was going to be my next question.
Oh, yeah. Dominator would make, if a dog is a witch or a wizard, oh boy, they're going to have some curly ass shoes.
I know for a fact a dog is a witch or a wizard because every time they look at me, it's magic. Because I can feel love again. What do you mean, ew? What the fuck, ew? Excuse me?
Yeah.
That was beautiful what I just said.
Dogs are so far below on the totem pole for me.
Wow. See, and I think I'm more of a cat. Not like person, I associate more with cats. But I get along with dogs for that reason. I feel like really well too. I mean, I get along with both. I'm great with cats. I'm great with dogs. If you've got a baby that's not very smart, they're gonna love me.
Okay, this is my order. You got humans on top, ancient aliens, cats.
Of course. That's still pretty high.
Like a lot of like a sea otter I love, and then a dog.
Well, okay, so I forgot. I feel like sea otter's pretty high too. Cats are still up there.
Yeah.
Like getting beat by ancient aliens and sea otters, there's no shame in that.
What? No. Sea otters is below cats.
That's what I meant regarding dogs. Excuse me.
Okay.
I got confused. This is not the earliest we've ever recorded, but it's just early enough for my brain to be more than a little mushy.
Ooh, mushy like you might be if you got thrown against this cage by cage.
Well done. much like in that sense. This man, oh my gosh. Bang Data plays us to the desk. I really need to start listening to Bang Data, by the way. Every now and again, I liked this band.
Can I ask you, Sean, have you ever listened to any of the bands from this show that you say, hey, I really need to listen to them?
I don't think I say it. I might say more than I do.
Oh, Sean, brother.
Don't play it back. Don't play it back.
Every 3 episodes, they get a new band.
Only every 3 episodes I say it?
I bet you every 6 episodes. So you usually, like every other band, you say, I gotta listen to these. But that's a lot of...
That's a good batting average. That's a good 0.5. I take that. Put me on a card, baby.
No. Yeah, you're...
No.
No, that's not batting average. That's you going up to plate average. But
that's a great going up to plate average. You gotta put yourself out there. You gotta put yourself out there.
You follow through. You're just getting beamed every time.
Bang Data plays us to the dead.
That's why you miss every other one, because you're beamed in the head, you're passed out, and then the next band after, the following one, you're like, wow, man, this is really good. I can hear again. There's no longer fluids in my ears.
Bang Data fills our ears with fluids as they play us at the desk. Vampiro with the sexiest man in pro wrestling, Matt Stryker, who updates us on Milan Matanza, which, if you remember last week, they crashed through the roof. And this week, they're fine. They'll be back soon.
Yeah, they're monsters, baby.
The third Ancient Aztec Medallion match is up first.
Uh-huh.
It is a cage match featuring Cage and Johnny Mundo.
Also, a literal cage is not a satanic surrounding, because that's what Matt Stryker says. He considers this cage as a satanic surrounding, because if that were the case, all schoolyards would be hallowed grounds of Leviathan.
Wait. Because they are, wouldn't they just be? Wait, is Leviathan the devil? I thought the Leviathan could be a god friend.
Dude, you're not into Leviathan Satanism, baby, or you've never seen a little movie called Hellraiser 2: Hellbound.
I need to get into Leviathan Satanism right as soon as I get into Bang Data and all the other bands I said I would get into.
I think it's Lucifer, Satan, Beelzebub, or Baal, and Leviathan are the 4 rulers of hell within Leviathan Satanism, which actually doesn't believe in Satan.
Nice. And then Baal's head was eaten by Matanza, so he had to get replaced by Hulk Hogan?
No, Matanza's just one of the 4 rulers of hell now.
Hell yeah.
I haven't read the Satanic Bible since I was a teenager in high school. Literally reading it in high school. Don't know why no one asked me to stop. I guess it's because it's like religious freedom. Maybe that's why. Yeah, but they asked me to do a lot of other stuff that should have fallen within religious freedoms.
Do you want to get into that?
No.
Okay.
We don't got time for that.
Hell yeah, we do. We're actually pretty early. And it's I love when wrestling can do this. Anytime a show does this, where they're tying up multiple strings at the same time. Since season 1 began, Cage and Mundo have been at each other's throats. They both want the title. They both want to be seen as the top guy. And they, like, on a spiritual level, like, they are just so opposed in everything they do.
Spiritually, one's Belial, which is the actual 4 ruler, and then the other is the Wicked Witch of the West. Because Belial is the ruler of the East in hell. Maybe I didn't read that far into it.
Fair enough. So on top of them finishing up their Wicked Witch off, they are also putting the Aztec medallions back out there, which, it's so weird to see Dario back and to see him instituting everything over again. But just like, it feels dirty to be this excited to see Dario Cueto.
No, man, he's great.
We watched him feed a head to his brother last year.
So?
He did that. That's not good. You can't do that.
I watch that on Pornhub all the time.
Or
yes.
Cage versus Mundo.
Real quick, this is how you know one of us wakes up at 6 a.m. and the other one wakes up at 10 a.m.
Yeah, one of us already have all their porno references on Rolodex. Just, yes, I have seen that one. Johnny's won the only previous steel cage match. That was the King Cuerno match, which I'm going to say again was one of my all-time favorites in the Temple. So Johnny has the advantage with experience. However, Cage's name is Cage. So really, advantage is in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Taya is out here. She is separated, of course, by a big old steel wall. So she can't really get in there. Well, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry.
So many times I was like, is this allowed?
I mean, no disqualification. We'll get there.
Cage needs friends in his corner, okay?
Cage needs friends. Unfortunately, he spent entire season 1 being a dillweed.
Oh, yeah.
So, the seeds of dillweedery are coming back to bite him in the butt.
No!
And Johnny's, I don't know, it's exciting. Is Johnny going to be a coward? Will he fight this machine? This is a good match, and we're going to get into it. It is a 13-minute plus match, which I was shocked to see after it wrapped up and I checked the time, and it's like, I think it was 13 minutes, 29. Matches don't go over 7 in the Temple. And real quick, before we get into it, I kind of wanted to ask, James, did you notice how long this match was?
It just was bing, bing, bing. I loved it. I knew it was longer than the usual opener. And then when they said there's just 2 matches, I'm like, oh, so the final, the 4-way match, that one's going to be a lengthy one. And you need time to introduce everyone, whatnot. But yeah, there was 0 backstage stuff. So it is just 2 matches. One's 13 and one's probably, my guess would be like 22 minutes.
I didn't even get a time on it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think around there. Episodes are generally 45 minutes total. And again, that's one of those things we could have set up top, but there are no backstage anything in this episode. And they've done bits of that before, obviously, in the Iron Man match.
There was one at the end. I forgot about that one. That was just wowzers. Yeah, guys, this is Tekken, okay?
This is Tekken as fuck. This is so fucking Tekken. God damn. The bell rings. They tee off on each other. Eventually, Johnny finds an advantage by targeting Cage's legs with the low kicks. The kick so low, they hit you in the legs and it goes ow. Cage backs Johnny into a corner, however, before muscling him down with clotheslines. And this is what Johnny has to do, and this is what Cage has to do. Johnny needs to outsmart him, be very tactical in the offense he chooses to implement, because not all of it will work. And Cage needs to be fucking Cage.
He needs to dominate that dog of a Mundo.
He does. Can we please say Juggalate?
Oh, no.
Well, then I'm off for it again. And if you're a new listener, I'm not going to explain it to you this time. It has become too complicated.
I will be trying to, at least in the first season, just collect all of the Dominator saga and just clip them all together for a YouTube video.
Great. I think that's a good plan to get you sent to federal prison. Cage starts playing to the crowd as he's bouncing Johnny's skull off of the steel walls, which I don't know if you've ever I've gotten beat up. I think a lot of us, it happens in life. I've never been beat up while my tormentor is playing to the crowd. It's getting to that point where God, he's beating the boring shit out of Johnny, man. And he's just, to see Cage preen and be this good guy here, it's very cool.
Yeah, I love this match so much because you want either of them to win. Because they both would make sense to win.
Yes. I think it's such an important part of when you put putting stakes in is believability. And by believability, it's weird. I feel like it gets kind of bastardized. And certain wrestling fans will say believability, and then they just mean they want a very specific brand of wrestling to be competitive and realistic, and you can't have fun, silly things because we need believability. I need to believe both sides can win or lose. But or You could do so much more. Mundo is not the biggest guy here. He's not the best example, but even if he had an even smaller build, he'd still be believable because he's doing some truly Bugs Bunny ass shit in this fucking match to win.
Yeah.
And that's so much more interesting. That's such a more interesting take on believability, I guess, than big guy over smaller guy.
Everything in Lucha Underground checks the believability mark, okay?
Definitely. Especially Matanzi eating head, because you've seen it in porn. It must
so
be
many
true.
times.
So many.
I once saw a vagina eat a man's head. I don't know if that was a real video or if it was staged.
I heard both. I've heard conflicting sources on that one.
Yeah, and people say, oh yeah, and he died in there. No, he didn't.
You know, people die all the time inside vaginas. That's called birth.
Whoa. No, that's called stillbirth, you bitch.
All right. Cage, true. Cage with the reverse F5, just casually inventing like a reverse F5. Climbs to the top rope while putting Johnny in a Boston Crab. I don't know why he did this. I don't know why, if you're going to put Johnny Mundo in a Boston Crab-like maneuver with his legs bent all back, why are you standing on the top rope? Insane. And it looks amazing as the camera zooms in and Johnny is fucking not doing well.
So Stryker at this point, around this point, I should say, says that cage matches are violent, destructive matches, and he says, hey, Vampiro, you've been a part of these. And he's like, oh yeah, man, I know violent, destructive matches, me against this, me against that, me versus my ex-wife, you know, the space luchador princess from that movie I was in. Yeah, well, I remember more than just the mannequins.
It's well done. It's well done. I mostly remember the mannequins. Then Vampiro just stares off for like a full 45 seconds, and the camera cuts to him. There's wrestling happening, but we just need to see Vampiro's face as he remembers his space princess from the film Vampiro Night Warrior. Hell yeah.
There's also something that Vampiro says. He just, out of nowhere, says, maybe I'm off base here. And then Stryker immediately cuts in and says, you? Off base?
They're just so wonderfully petty. It's like
they're just razzing each other. I like it.
They're you know what? They are Raz with a Z Coles to each other, and you love to see it. It's
Raz Coles?
Like Razcol, like a rascal.
Oh.
But Razcol.
Okay.
Say it with me one time. Razcol.
Razcol. That sounds like a fancy cocktail that I don't want anything messing with, okay?
That's true. Straight edge till the day we die.
Okay,
CM Punk.
I'm no longer straight edge, okay?
Except for getting high. Let's get high. Let's get high.
I'm gay edge. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I want to fuck Adam Copeland.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Cool. On this day, Vampiro calls this a camel toe. I should have written more in that note than that. I think it's reference to the Boston Crab or Johnny's getting hung up on the top rope. But he called something that's not a camel toe a camel toe. So Johnny takes advantage of, is a cage. He gets caught up on the top rope. And he's dangling there with the rope all up in his nads.
Okay, so that's a camel toe.
It's okay.
It will make it would make a moose knuckle, yeah.
Yeah, it will create a camel toe. It's or a moose knuckle is in the future with the rope all up in your nards.
Because it's parting it around. Like if you were to look zoomed in at that with some light shining, you would see a moose knuckle. So I think it's okay to say it.
And the fact that we didn't get to look in on it with the good lighting all zoomed in is why this company is in the fucking toilet right now. Mark Burnet, I'm talking to you directly. Put down all your millions you're fanning yourself with from your survivor money and listen up. More shots of Cage's moose knuckle or we're going to stop doing the damn podcast. We're not going to stop doing the podcast. This is a threat and he's going to feel it. We're getting your ass, Mark Burnet. As a reminder, the guy who created Survivor, Mark Burnet, also created the show.
He didn't create it. He just we discussed this before.
I know. That's why I'm surprised he didn't come up with the information sooner. He's someone on the show. He's someone on the show, though. I sound like a crazy aunt.
I think he's just a partner of the El Rey network.
I don't remember. Yes, I don't remember yes. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind because I just sound like your crazy aunt who doesn't know why she's so mad at Mark Burnet, but is clearly just very angry at Mark Burnet. Just like, well, he does something. Okay, I know he does something on that show, and I don't care for it. Johnny takes advantage of Cage in his camel-toed state. He gets trapped between the ropes and the walls. Fuck, man, it gets so bad. He's starting to build that head of steam, though. He has to play smart to survive the machine. Eventually, Johnny does attempt an escape. So the rules of this match are both pinfall, submission, as well as escape the cage. If your feet, either you pin your opponent or you submit them, or if you can get out of the cage, both feet on the ground before your opponent, anyway, you win. Johnny attempts an escape. Cage climbs up to meet him, slams him something awful. But Taya starts getting involved here. She climbs up and whips at Cage's hands with her belt. His fingies are over the top of the cage, and she's like, waka, waka. So he pulls them back. Johnny recovers. Spanish fly back down to earth. Now we know a couple things. A, Cage can climb this cage pretty fucking quickly. Escape is going to be difficult. And B, Taya's here, and Taya is not afraid to start climbing the cage and make her presence felt.
Mm-hmm. So real quick, Mark Burnet, because of his relationship as the chairman of MGM Studios at the time, that he technically produced that because it was an MGM type deal.
That makes sense. Then he probably only just signed a couple of checks or whatever.
He could have been there. We were informed by Justin Borden that he was present here and there.
Yeah, I forgot. We have a friend. We can pump for information.
Yeah,
that's how friendship works. No, yeah, he was. I'm sure he was around. On commentary, Vampiro says, "Is there anyone as strong as Cage? I don't think so." To which Matt Stryker replies, I don't know, I only watch Lucha Underground.
Hell yeah, dude.
It was so chicken shit.
Was Mark Henry at the time in WWE? Maybe that was like, oh, he's technically the strongest man in the world.
I love Mark Henry. I think this was the Hall of Pain Mark Henry, which is a great persona for him. That being said, you put over your own company, especially Cage right now.
Yeah.
Like Mark Henry hasn't been entering strongman competitions for the past 10 years at this point. That's being generous. It's going to be fine if you call someone else the strongest man in the world. My immediate reaction, what I write down, Matt just put over Cage, you WWE shill, which is not what you want. I don't know, maybe that's me being a very snarky wrestling fan. I feel like that's not the reaction you want in this moment. I feel like you just want to be like, you know what, James, play Vampiro for a second and just say, is there anyone as strong as Cage? I don't think so.
Hey there, brother. Is there anyone strong? Or actually, hold on, let me, I had something in my throat. Hey, babe. Is there anything stronger than Cage, babe?
God, no, there's not. And perfect. I see how simple that was.
What he should have said is he should have went heel and said, those muscles are just cosmetic, Vampiro.
Even that, I would have.
Yeah.
You know why I would have appreciated that more is because it didn't feel like you're in the back pocket of another company who doesn't need you to defend them because they are $1 billion company.
Oh, baby, give me those billions.
Ugh, nah, you don't want them. Not right now. Moonlight drive from the top rope. Holy fucking shit. Johnny covers. It's only a 2. That's the problem when you are the smarter wrestler and you're just waiting for your spots to open up. You don't get as many spots in there because Cage is too busy doing literally everything. Taya and Johnny spend a little too much time getting a kendo stick from the outside to inside the ring. Cage recovers fucks Johnny up something fierce. Eventually, Cage tries to escape. However, Taya meets him at the top once again. However, this time, it is with that there kendo stick. And she beats him down with it from the top. Like, she's just kind of like whacking him over the edge. Be like, hey, get back in there. We got more time to kill. Before throwing it to Johnny, who is still in the cage. So Johnny now has the kendo stick.
No!
Right? Cage takes the kendo stick from Johnny. And Johnny's like this goddamn Spider-Man trying to avoid it. It's so cool.
Speaking of, one, it really shows off his stage combat. This is perfectly choreographed. It's so good. And two, you mentioned Spider-Man. Stryker references the cover art of The Amazing Spider-Man 1 in this when he says he's like Peter Parker trapped by the Fantastic Four. And I only know that because I've recently seen that cover. So I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Like, when was he trapped? And then that cover popped in my head and it literally says, oh no, the Fantastic Four think they have me trapped, but I'm ding-dang Spider-Man.
Oh my gosh. If we ever get another guest in, I want to ask if that's a Matt move or was that Brian Cage slipping them notes?
Ooh, that's really good.
Famously, the Swolverine, who's named both of his moves after Wolverine nicknames or move names, the Drill Claw and the Weapon X. Like, he's I cannot put over how much of a fucking nerd that Brian Cage secretly is.
Hey,
it's so beautiful.
Hey, Brian Cage, grow up and get into DC already, you child.
That's
I'm kidding. I'm not one of those nerds.
I can also hear, and I mean this with love, the absolute fear in the back of your throat on that one. Because Cage, I did tell Cage where you live.
Oh no, he's been coming over to like test the resistance of Dominators.
God, that man loves science and Marvel comics so much.
I give him like trades of Deadpool and then he tests it and he says, yeah, looks good. I'm going to go wrestle in AEW now.
We talked about before when he started wearing the Streets of Cage tights instead of Streets of Rage after they had a tie-in deal with Sega.
And he was going to have one thing included with that, or technically two. He was going to come out with a big old rotisserie chicken in one hand while roller skating, but the roller skate's not good when it's dripping rotisserie grease on the ground.
And I know this reference, so you don't have to explain it.
Why would you bring up Streets of Rage if you'd never played it?
Why would you bring up the roller skating people from Streets of Rage?
It was one of the main characters you could play. He has blades.
I don't think he's carrying around the food.
No, when you smash a trash can to get full health, there's a rotisserie chicken on the ground.
Oh. Well, okay, and I'm glad we could yell at each other back here.
All right.
I don't know why I got in my head. I knew because I think it's Streets of Rage 3 that he's in. The younger child with the rollerblades as a playable character.
That would have been his third appearance when he had Streets of Cage 3 on his little loafers.
Loafers?
Yeah, because he can't wear the blades.
Oh, yeah, sure, of course.
Did I mean his singlet? Yes.
I don't know. I got into American Graffiti, and once I get into George Lucas mode, I can't get out.
Oh, whoa! You've recently watched that movie?
If by recently you mean a whole bunch of years ago. Actually, It's been a long time.
I was gonna say, if you own it on DVD or Blu-ray, can I please borrow it? I want to watch it.
Oh shit! Next time I go back to Buffalo, I might have it somewhere over there.
Okay.
This went from a joke to be like, I might have you someday eventually.
Okay, well, back to this episode. There's a part where Cage, I believe, or maybe it's Mundo, I don't remember, just pushes his feet into one of their faces. Who was this?
I think this was Mundo to Cage.
Okay,
I think this was Mundo to Cage.
This is a new edition of, now that's what I call homoerotica, because he starts saying, how does my boot taste?
Yeah, he does. I think he calls him a stupid head too up top, which is, I mean, honestly, if I was going to be degraded, like some light humiliation play, I want to be called a stupid head. That's
Okay.
part of it. Yeah.
Out of how many of the 3 first dates you did this week did they end with calling you
my
stupid head,
God.
baby?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm recently dating more. So I'm out there, I'm doing it. And I've never really taken the apps super seriously. And I've always been like a little too shy, like, oh, nobody wants to meet me.
Yeah, you're scared of loaded potato skins.
Yep, that's my problem. But then I realized you don't have to take every date to Applebee's.
Uh-huh.
No, what I realized is I'm fucking hot. And sometimes people want to like get to know me. Because like not just physically, but like emotionally. People think I'm hot too. Long story, so like and I'm also I'm dating ethically non-monogamously. I started seeing someone who is polyamorous, and I'm like, you know what, fucking let's try it. And you know, I'm kind of in here, and I'm like, you know what, fuck yeah, okay. Here's the thing: if you're E&M and you're new to ethically non-monogamous dating, like I am, you don't have to go on 3 dates in a single week. Technically, it was supposed to be 4, but I had to call the last one and be like, I can't. I need to sleep. I can't do this anymore. I'm tired.
I've just been dating all night and day.
Like this sounds, I wish this wasn't true. I wish I had better foresight. This sounds like a foolish cartoon premise, but this is what I chose to do with my life this week. Just go on I went on too many dates.
I'm gonna go on 4 dates with Nicole eventually, and I'm gonna one
How
up
many have
ya.
you been on so far?
What?
The way you worded it makes me think like you've only gone on 3 dates with Nicole in the entire time you've been together.
No. I say in 1 week I'm going on
In 1
4
week.
dates.
Oh, you know, you do, you say, hey, babe, it's like every minute with you is just a brand new date. So how many minutes are in the week? And then you fart. And then you go back to sleep.
No, you need to actually have a date, and then you feel appreciated, vice versa.
Truly. No, I wasn't sure. I thought that was going to end with a bit. But no, that was just cute and good tips.
Speaking of dates and hanging out with your keen lady, is Taya allowed inside the cage?
So a cage match doesn't have an elimination or doesn't have disqualification. That's a tricky thing when you have a specialty match that doesn't have disqualification. Because the referee is powerless to disqualify you, it's frowned upon. But what are they going to do?
Okay.
It's kind of the same thing. It's the same way like in the Royal Rumble or an Aztec Warfare match. If you wanted to go out there and hire the 1987 Chicago Bears offensive line to interfere on your match for you, it's Airbud rules. If it's not in the rule book and there's no disqualification, go nuts, bud.
I'm bringing a chainsaw, or I'm bringing a gun blade, Final Fantasy VIII style.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna bring poison.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have them start singing a song for you?
Exactly. You know what I'm going for. So yeah, Johnny eventually escapes Weapon X. Taya has climbed the cage again, throws Johnny a chair, who slam towns it into Cage's skull. Pinfall, only a 2. Eventually, Johnny climbs the top of the cage again. Big whiffs on an end of the world from the top. However, has distracted Cage long enough for Taya to crossbody her way from the top of the cage onto Cage. And nothing in the rule book says she can't. Well, technically, but she can't be disqualified. So she pulls out a pair of handcuffs, hooks one end to the bottom rope. Then Johnny, it's a double team. Johnny and Taya, they're going to go tie Cage's other wrist up to the bottom of the rope with that there handcuff. However, Cage escapes, puts the other cuff onto Taya, so now Taya's connected to the bottom rope.
And the bottom rope's connected to the turnbuckle.
Cage then dodges a chair shot from Johnny, who inadvertently smacks Taya before eating a big old Baldo bomb. Drill claw onto the chair. Cage pins Johnny, wins the match 13 minutes, 29 seconds. Cage now holds the 3rd Ancient Aztec medallion.
See, where I was hoping this was going to go once Taya got into the ring was Taya pins Cage, and
and she takes the medallion?
Yeah, and then there's like this debate between the two, but Dario like settles it no, or Dario settles it, well, you want to know what? You two fight each other. Whoever wins gets the medallion. That would have been good, but I'm glad Cage won because he had to deal with these two douchebags the entire time. These scamps that are just like, hey, we're going to hit you with a kendo stick.
Yeah, and my belt, and a chair, and me. Hello, my name is Taya Valkyrie. Pleasure to meet you.
I have two more notes on this match. One, is there any other job where when you land a big promotion, you can just rip off your shirt and practically look like you're just in underwear? No other job. That's really good.
Hell yeah.
And Zidane. That is the main character from Final Fantasy IX. People would have messaged us, but no, I'm letting everyone know we know now. And we have 15 minutes to discuss this next match. So, in the beginning, when they were starting to talk about like, oh, hey, this is what we have going on, I put down my prediction was the Royals would beat everything out because you got a prince, you have a king, and you have a member of a just ancient civilization tribe. So yeah, those are the Royals now, the Prince Puma, King Mysterio, and Dragoness Tekka.
Well, let's find out if your prediction is correct. Before the match even begins, Dario interrupts Melissa Santos, who's announcing the match, with breaking news. Angelico has had an unfortunate accident and has been rushed to the hospital. The match will go on. However, Ivelisse and Son of Havoc will be down one member.
I was thinking that this either guaranteed they would retain or at least Angelico would show up like he was like in chains or something and like running from whatever lackeys that maybe like a Black Lotus. He gets free and he just like does another like from the top of the office, jumps into the ring and he's like, I'm here to fight, motherfuckers.
Yeah, honestly, it was it's a little disappointing that he didn't come through. Did he get, I should have looked that up if he got actually injured or not.
We don't have time.
I know. So the official match, instead of 12, there'll be 11 people. It'll be the team of Phoenix, Jack Evans, and Darewolf, PJ Black, versus the team of Cortez Castro, Mr. Cisco, and Joey Ryan, versus the aforementioned Royals, Prince Puma, Dragoness Tekka Jr., and Rey Mysterio, versus Ivelisse and Son of Havoc, full stop, no Angelico.
The odd thruple -1.
Yes, Jack Evans is a bad influence on PJ, but he can do a handstand down the steps, which is cool. Also, on the intros, hearing Rey's championship credentials, Matt Stryker kind of runs down all the championships Rey Mysterio has won, and he does it from WCW through WWE to also his time in AAA, and it's just really cool, especially at this time. Nowadays, AEW is really good with this. Even WWE, like Michael Cole will mention this guy spent time in New Japan and stuff, and so it's growing up and at this time too, you didn't hear that. If you were watching WWE, it's what they do in WWE. What is the character we get, and full stop. So to see them go it's very not just novel. Because it's important. It provides that historical context, which is important. People come from places. Ivelisse, Phoenix, Cisco, and Rey start the match. So the way the match works, 4 people will be in at once, and you can tag out to your team. If any member of your team gets pinned, your whole team is eliminated. Get the fuck out of my ring.
I believe you brushed past a very important thing that both Stryker and Vampiro say, speaking of Ivelisse, that Ivelisse has evil in her name, so you better watch out. But she also has ease in her name, which, hasn't been seen yet.
Yeah. Now, when they said that, I got offended. I'm not sure. Did they just call Ivelisse slutty?
No. I think meaning like she like easygoing. Like it's an ease to either combat her or like she's like, hey, guys, I'm ready to punch you. And it's like, okay, that's not an eased person.
You need to ease on up. I hope I like to believe you. I hope that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that'd be wild. But also not that wild that it's Mad Striker has said wild shit like this before, so I guess I'm doubtful still.
No, I don't think he's calling people slutty in Lucha Underground.
Do you remember? He didn't call him slutty, but the Masquerita Sangrada calls, like he makes some bad calls. I don't want to put it past Mad Striker to not make bad calls.
But this is the evolution of wrestling social commentary.
We're getting there.
Which is like you have to just chisel away a little by little. And it's like, oh yeah, like slut shaming. We chiseled that out of here. And now like we got to chisel some other stuff.
Yeah, you hear that? We fixed it. Wrestling solved.
I didn't say fixed it. I said Striker in Lucha Underground chiseled away for commentary, hopefully everywhere, slut shaming.
Yeah. We'll see. They start the match. Beautiful, wild simultaneous offense before a four-way standoff. They tag in Son of Havoc, PJ, Puma, Castro. More fast simultaneous offense has to be seen to explain. The opening exchanges here, I couldn't even write them down. I'm usually pretty good at kind of like notating. Too many moves.
Which
too
is
good,
fine.
too pretty.
We don't have time to go through all these moves.
Son of Havoc, exactly. Clears house, backs Cortez into the ropes.
But we need to make sure. I think who was Marty Elias? Was he the...
Marty Elias was the referee, yes.
I believe he does not have hair. He's a bald man.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because Striker's insinuating he might be favoriting the other bald men in the ring because they have the same haircut.
Well, wouldn't you?
Yeah. If I saw someone with the exact same hair, which I'm trying to do for Nicole, I want it so long that I can cut my hair, then make a wig for her with my hair. Does she think that's gross? Yeah, and as she should.
That's so gross, but like beautiful. Here's the thing. Is that gross? Undoubtedly. Is that also like the sweetest thing I've ever heard? Oh my fucking God. That's,
You say that's beautiful, but also bald is more beautiful than wearing your boyfriend's hair.
Yes.
I guess if I died, that would be like, actually, Nicole might end up becoming what's it called?
Lich or necromancer?
A Bates Motel kind of person.
Oh, okay. What is that called? It's a Bates Motel type.
What? Not Jason Bateman.
What's his name? Norman
Norman
Bates.
Batesman.
Norman Bates, as played by Jason Bateman. Get it together, Hollywood.
Uh-huh.
Vampiro asks about Bale, who doesn't have a head anymore after being fed to Matanza by Cortez and Cisco. This is that Tekken shit, man. Tekken shit.
He asked just out of nowhere, what happened to Bale? You remember that dude?
Remember the third member of this team? Honestly, even without a head, still would be better to see than Joey Ryan. Dragon takes on Cortez and Cisco, who gets caught up against the numbers, has to kick out. Barely does, but has to. Son of Havoc is turned now to come in and take on this double team of Cortez and Cisco, who, and again, a reminder, Cisco especially, leaps and bounds from where they were in season 1. Mm-hmm. They work together. They are an established and dedicated tag team. They have beautiful synergy, and fucking Cisco can go. Mm-hmm. So good to see. Son of Havoc has a little more luck against the 2-on-1, though. He almost gets pinned, but Cortez, distracted by the other teams, knocks down the cop and friend to hot tag Ivelisse. Son of Havoc does, excuse me. So Ivelisse comes in. Joey is tagged in now. He baits Ivelisse to the outside and bounces her head off the apron. Phoenix with a tope tornado to take out Castro. PJ tries to fly, but Puma pushes him off the pile. Then he flies onto Phoenix and Castro. Dragon Azteca Jr. with the assist from Puma. Big tope corkscrew. And we'll see it a couple of times. Dragon Azteca, and someone we haven't seen a whole lot in the ring yet. But all these assists that he gets from Prince Puma, I don't think we got to it yet. But this fucking Dragon Azteca with this tornado DDT, he gets so much hang time for. It's like he just sprouted little wings, but the wings are covered in blood and metal shit. It's so cool. So we're still on, there's a pile on the outside. A lot of bodies are going to fly onto this pile. I should have warned you all ahead of time. A lot of bodies are going to fly onto this pile of humans. Prince Puma tries for the moonsault, but PJ knocks him down, who then topes over Puma's body onto the pile. Ray flies into the pile. Puma flies into the pile. Son of Havoc flies into the pile. There's so many. Everyone has flown onto this poor pile of bodies. It's chef's kiss.
And Sean's at the bottom of it saying, more, more.
True. Ivelisse, last to fly, hits the ropes, but is cut off by cop Joey Ryan, who gets his ass kicked right before Joey tags in Castro.
Oh, okay. You're just saying gets his ass kicked? That he is gross in this match.
He's very gross.
And especially with like hindsight 2020, even grosser. But it seems like Ivelisse knew something, and because the smack she provides him felt fucking real. And it's just so beautiful to see. Just, "Bah-dow!" And then she kicks the shit out of him. It's great.
Yeah. As a reminder, if you're someone who's watching not very deep into the wrestling community, or you're just listening, Joey Ryan was a major figure in the speaking out movement, which was Me Too in pro wrestling, but it came like 5 years late or a couple years later. Joey Ryan, was a huge figure. Beforehand, was seen as a very influential figure in the SoCal scene.
Okay, when you say a big figure, it seems like he was championing that movement. He was a major scumbag in that situation.
Thank you. He is an absolute scumbag and has been a scumbag the entire time when he was doing championing the SoCal scene. And I guess one of the things I kind of flew past it, the way he's creepy as hell, but that's not unique to his character in Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
Like his entire persona has been like the penis wrestler. He was a comedy wrestler. And a lot of his offense was like penis based and being this weird, creepy porn star.
We'll say this. I think it's because this is the first time he's gone up against a woman, from my knowledge, in Lucha Underground. At least
Underground.
That I can remember. So that's why it was glaring. And I'm like, oh no, get this man out of here.
I'm glad you brought it up because it's something I guess I took for granted, sort of being familiar with Joey Ryan's work before and after Lucha Underground, because he would do this all the time with women in matches. Like, this is something he was on the outside. You thought he is a champion for intergender matches. That's awesome. It's getting more women on indie cards.
But then it's like, ugh, gross. Which, Sean, we have technically 2 minutes to talk about this match.
All right, let's wrap this one up then. Before we skip ahead to all these eliminations, I do need to mention Jack Evans cutting off Ivelisse, then claims her moniker as his own as he starts screaming, "No, I'm the baddest bitch in the building." And Jack Evans, we thank you so much for your service. It's beautiful.
But then he takes down Ivelisse, to which I responded, I guess he is the baddest bitch in the building.
Jack Evans invented Lucha Libre, is the baddest bitch in the building, and doesn't believe in dragons. And you know what, Jack? 2 out of 3 ain't bad. The match is beautiful. We encourage you to check it out. Because we're running short on time, Joey Ryan, Cortez Castro, and Mr. Cisco have been eliminated at some point. Ivelisse lands this running code red onto Jack Evans. They're the 2 legal people in the ring. Pin combos, but the ref's back is turned. And while the ref's back is turned, PJ Black super kicks Ivelisse, who at the time is pinning Jack Evans. PJ Black pushes the pile over so that Jack Evans is on top, which is when Marty Elias turns around, counts the 3. The odd thruple are eliminated. I was shook.
Oh, same.
I really thought they were going to retain, especially after losing Angelico.
I thought they would at least be the 2 finalists, like them versus the Royals. Also, real quick, Marty the Moth Elias, someone make that up. I don't know how you would, but that seems like something that needs to happen.
Shout out Marty Casal.
And at this point, the match went from great to absolutely gnarly amazing because it's just boom, boom, boom. Like there's this Phoenix versus Dragoness. Yeah, you go. You know it.
I just want to remind everyone that the final 2 teams are Jack Evans, PJ Black, and Phoenix. A reminder, Jack Evans and PJ Black are currently feuding with Phoenix's best friends, Aerostar and Drago. So complicated. But PJ Black, Jack Evans, Phoenix, and Prince Puma, Dragon Azteca, and Rey Mysterio Jr. And yeah, this final exchange is otherworldly.
Yeah, Phoenix and Dragon Azteca just ruled, then Puma versus everyone ruled.
Yes, it's so much. Phoenix and Dragon start off. Wicked double stomp, pins for a 2. Another series of passes and escapes. Dragon finishes the sequence with this. This is the gravity-defying tornado DDT. That, like, again, I was shocked. He spent so much time in the sky. You thought he was a bird, but he was a wrestler. Puma and PJ tag in. Puma's a house of fire against everyone, including rolling suplexes, modified GTS with an enziguri instead of the knee. He's done this move before. I'm just shook every time I see it. Rey tries to get involved. The ref stops him, and Evans uses the opportunity to kick Puma in the nards. The fuck, Jack Evans? Bad. You know what? That is baddest bitch in the building behavior, though. Gotta give it to him.
He screams, "This is what Lucha Libre really is."
He does. Or it's, this is what Lucha Libre looks like.
Oh, yeah.
He screams, "This is what Lucha Libre looks like," before missing a flying Sobat kick. Just totally misses and allows Puma the hot tag. They do such a good job of him just talking a lot of shit and being unable to back it up. Love to see it.
Real quick, Phoenix, even though he is diametrically opposed to how Evans and the Darewolf act, he is their fucking teammate. He knows that I need this gold. This would be very good for me. So I'm going to even sort of be a little rudo here and there to help my friends out when need be, because I want this gold. He's not going full force into it. But yeah, man, this is how you just, I guess, when you're, doing pickup basketball, you're not like, oh, I should be on the best team. No, you're on the team you were given.
You make the team you're on the best team. That's what you do. Yeah, it's so there are just so many layers to that team, especially when you go back and to how long Phoenix, Drago, and Aerostar, not even just in Lucha Underground, but like in their whole careers, have spent together. You know how linked their careers are, and for him to go side with these rudos who are currently they're trying to tell us Drago isn't a dragon. That's bullshit.
He's like, my friend is a dragon.
Yes, my friend is a dragon. It's so to find those gray areas and to like add these layers to this story. It's so good, and if you're not like. It's hard because there is a lot of bad wrestling that will not have this many layers, and I think it's very common. And in general, wrestling is a very visceral art form, so it doesn't usually live in the gray. But when it does, and stuff like this, it's so good. Ring gets cleared. Puma trips up PJ, who takes a 619 to the back of the head from Rey Mysterio. Jack Evans gets dialed in by another 619. We're getting to the end here where Puma assists Dragon to hit another tornado DDT, this time on Evans. So Puma and Dragon stereo suicided dives onto the outside on PJ and Phoenix. Rey and Jack Evans, the only two in the ring, split-legged moonsault by Rey Mysterio, RVD style. If you remember those, how he would like drop from the top rope and sort of like bounce his thighs off of the ropes, and he would do a flip, and it's awesome.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't really see when RVD would do that because, it was like 1 frame per second on ECW.
Yeah, oh, right. Why are we burning AC? They haven't been a company at the time of recording episode, not podcast. They've been a company for like 13 years. Let them sleep. They're dead. Let the dead rest.
ECW never dies in me, guys, because I'm that man with a hat in the front row of every filming.
Hat. Wear an interesting shirt next time you go to a wrestling show.
Interesting
the split-legged moonsault
t-shirt.
Wins the match. Rey pins and covers. I love that this was a finish, too. I love that their split-legged moonsault is a finish. And they are our new trios champions, Rey Mysterio, Prince Puma, and Dragon Azteca Jr. I'm sad to see the Odd Throuple leave, but I'm stoked for these guys.
Yeah, I called it when they became a trio. I'm like, they're going to get the gold.
You kind of like, you just put Rey Mysterio's in your company. You gotta act like that, you know?
And it's Prince Puma. Like
it's Prince fucking Puma.
The season 1, he's the guy.
He's the guy. He's still amazing. Like, just because he's not in that top position right now, he's still breathtaking.
But now he is. He's back in the top.
He's back, baby. And also Dragon as Tekken Jr., which again, I'm just a huge fan of him, what he goes on to do later. Like when I looking up who he becomes in professional wrestling, Ray Horris. Shocked. I love him so much, and he has so much upside. He's so young in his career right now. It is so cool to see, honestly, all these 3 stages of a young Ray Horris, a young, but like, you know, has been around for a little bit, Prince Puma, and the legend, the icon himself, Ray fucking Mysterio.
Lars Horris, aka MC Lars, bows to Ray Horris because I'm guessing it's R-E-Y.
R-E, I think.
Okay, because that means he's king of all the Horris.
Yes, king of all the Horris. We have a quick post-credits scene in Pentagon's dojo. A cloaked and hooded figure enters and then speaks, and we immediately know it's Vampiro. Like, Vampiro's voice is very recognizable even under a cloak.
And also very recognizable to the point where you're like, he was dubbed over in Night Warrior. This sounds nothing like how he sounded on Twisted's Maniac Killers.
He does so many things. Pentagon enters in a wheelchair.
In an electric wheelchair, I was like, holy shit, is this going to be his character now? Is he going to just be like the Oracle or something, like if you want to take a Batman term? But
the Barbara Gordon. Yeah.
It's truly so Tekken. You could see this thing happening to like a king and another king, like King and King Jr. maybe.
You know who I was thinking of?
What's up?
Okay. I was thinking this is a Yoshimitsu storyline.
Okay, but who would he be? I guess like the guy...
Dr. B?
Yeah, the guy who can't walk?
Yeah. The old doctor man who, like, that's the guy who set up all of his weird, like, science arm and stuff. Yeah. Dr. Boskanovich.
Yeah, and wowzers, was his fighting technique very weird in Tekken 3, but...
It was mostly humping the ground.
Yoshimitsu is just like pouring hot wax on a man who's disabled.
Oh, I was thinking, because he walks around sometimes, just when he fights, he lies down.
Oh.
Pentagon is Yoshimitsu.
Okay.
And then Vampiro is Dr. Boskanovich, the man who rebuilt Yoshimitsu after an injury. And yeah, spoilers, does this by screaming "get up" and pouring hot wax onto him when he can't get up because he's in a fucking wheelchair. As a reminder from his match against Matanza.
Okay, see, I actually think Vampiro is Gon and Pentagon Jr. is Mokujin.
No, is there a reason, or did you just want to visualize Gon and Mokujin pouring hot wax onto each other?
Yeah, I just want that. Specifically, Gon being the dominant one here.
And then every now and again he lifts his tail and he poots. That's
the episode.
That's the episode. Mokujin pouring hot wax onto Gon.
Opposite.
While Penta. Oh, excuse me. Gon pouring hot wax onto Mokujin.
Gon butt chugs the hot wax and farts it on Mokujin.
You can find me at twitch.tv /Goose Von Kaiser. This is also because we got to get out of here. James, take it away. James.
Guys, just listen to my music under Marshland Monster. Listen to Mostly Speaking Sentai, Formulaic, a podcast and script writing, Hit It and Crit It, This Movie's Gay, Sweet Child of Time. All of those are available wherever you're listening to this. You can listen to those podcasts as well. Also, please, if you'd like to support us, the best way to do that, even at the dollar amount, you don't get a lot out of it. You get some like free music and whatnot, but sign up for patreon.com/MLM pod, where for $5 a month, you get new stuff every single Friday, including 4 years of weekly releases. That's so much stuff. Patreon.com/MLM pod. And If you're a $10 patron, you get all of that plus a monthly exclusive content, which Sean is coming over, and what we got to figure out. It's either Powerbomb or that Vampiro movie. Which one did we decide on?
I forget. We'll look it up because it's in our messages somewhere.
Okay, so we will be discussing that this month, but also coming out this week should be a late. We very rarely do a late monthly thing, but our January episode will be with our boss Z, Nicole and I's boss Z, discussing some weird shark movie. But on top of all of that content, you get shout outs. I can't edit any of this now. You get shout outs in every single free feed podcast. Let's begin with those, starting with Steve F., Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour, Alex Z, The Waz, Orion, Jordan B, The Chaos Witch, my Bickle brother in common law, Joshua, Jakis, Steve Barnes, a sweet child of time, and Introvoid. Listen to his music. The womb in which I emerged, my mother, Lil Corey's BFF, and now former roommate Shane. That fed, twitch.tv/core winning. It's Core Win. Also, if you guys like This Movie's Gay and like that dynamic, patreon.com/MLM pod. Next week, Corwin's on the Citizens of Townsville Z talking about Powerpuff Girls Z. And finally, from twitch.tv/R2Shelby2, it's R2 Shelby 2. And I've been James.
I've been Sean. This has been Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. Purple Prancer forever.
See you guys. Bye. Oh,